Hey y'all, what's going on? It's me, your girl, Antoinette, the founder of TG Development Company. I am live again, as promised. Right now I'm at the library. I had to take advantage of this free Wi-Fi. First of all, hey Dante. Um, um, First of all, quickly let me tell you about my day. I had an amazing day. At first, I went to the Black maternal health care week in Delaware. I went to that meeting. That was amazing. And then I just left from the town hall meeting at the library that was implemented or facilitated by Network Connect, an amazing organization in Delaware. Oh my God. Today was just amazing. And I just gotta let y'all know, like, do not believe the hype. Do not believe the media. When I tell you that it's some black people out here doing amazing things, it's true. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the media. People are out here doing amazing things. But today, I really wanted to continue on with my conversation from yesterday where I was telling you and teaching you about how to be the best CEO you can be. So I'm going to continue on with that conversation really quickly because the library closes at 8 o'clock and I plan on being done before 8 o'clock. Also, I am on two platforms right now. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So if you see me going back and forth, that's exactly what I'm looking at. I'm looking at both cameras going back and forth. So moving forward, yesterday I really wanted to make it clear to you that you are the CEO of you. You are a CEO whether you have a business or not. It's so important for you to know that if you are watching this video now or you are catching me the replay on my YouTube channel, whenever you watch this video, I need you to understand that you are the CEO of you first and foremost. When you wake up in the morning, you are a CEO and you have to really adopt that mindset in life if you want to win, if you want to be a success. Because at the end of the day, that's what life is about. Life is about you being a success. All right? Life is about you not dying the same way you came in. Life is about, if you were born into poverty, you're not supposed to die in poverty. If you were born into unhealthy relationships, you're not going to die in unhealthy relationships. Life is about breaking the chains and changing the cycle. You know, that's what life is about. And with these characteristics that I'm sharing with y'all today, I want you to really use these characteristics and understand, your strengths and your weaknesses in these areas and applaud yourself for your strengths, but strengthen where you are weak in certain areas, right? So I went through 1 through 3 yesterday. If you didn't get to watch that video, go on Internet Develops, my YouTube channel. I post all my lives there. So you can go on there and watch part 1 of this 2-part video. But I'm going to continue with number 4 on the characteristic that you need that will make you the best CEO that you can be. So according to Wisdom of a Young CEO, the 4th quality that the theme that the CEO stated that all successful CEOs have, or that what made them a successful CEO, was the fact that they had to be humane. So the definition in the book was, to be humane means, it's an adjective, and it's to be marked by an emphasis on humanistic values and concerns. So what that means when it comes to being a CEO, you have to know that it's not just about the paycheck, or you have to know that you have to think about other people. It's not just about you. I always say that, it always comes back to that, but it's very, very true when you're trying to be the best CEO that you can be. In this chapter, 2 statements, a lot of statements stood out to me, but in this chapter, 2 statements stood out to me the most. The first one that was stated, it said, true leaders are willing to be a part of their community and help make it a better place in which to live. So if you want to be a CEO, it doesn't matter if you are a CEO of an organization or you are a business owner, but as a CEO of you, you are supposed to be willing to be a part of any community that you are a part of. That means your household, that's your school, that's your community in your environment. But whatever community that you are a part of, you have to be willing to make that community a better place. And if you're in an environment where you don't even care about the environment and you don't care about the people in that community, then leave. Because it's not doing you no service. It's not doing you no good if you stand in an environment that's not conducive to your growth, if it doesn't help you to feel good. So being humane, knowing that you are human, and connecting with other humans, that's important. And the second thought that stood out to me in this chapter, it was stated that a good leader must know the difference between being tyrant and being a strong leader who listens to his employees' problems and see them through the hard times. So if you want to be a CEO, or as you are working to be the best CEO that you can be, you have to understand that there's a difference between being a tyrant and there's a difference between being a strong leader. And when I think about this statement, I always go back to my parenting, because at the end of the day, I know I'm very strict when it comes to parenting. So I always try to make sure that I'm not being too extra with it and that I'm not being too much of a tyrant. And when I am going off on the edge, because I do have to reel myself back in sometimes, I have to tell myself, Antoinette, you are a leader, and leaders do not react like this. Leaders do not respond this way. You don't have to be a tyrant. You don't have to yell and scream all the time. So I'm learning different ways to communicate my leadership, especially when it pertains to my kids, because it's easy for us to, I guess just like talk to our family and our friends and the people that we care about any type of way, because we expect for them, because they know us, we expect for them to accept us as we are. But that's not always the case all the time. But listening to that statement, it just lets you know that, to remind yourself that you are to be a strong leader, but not a tyrant. Okay? So that's characteristic number 4. When you're on this journey to being the best CEO you can be, you have to be humane, right? Then next is curiosity. So the definition the definition attached to curiosity in Wisdom for a Young CEO, it was a desire to know and learn. It stated, look, listen, and learn. That's how you become curious. And at the end of the day, mind you, when I'm reading this book, I've realized that being curious is not my strength. It really isn't. If I can be honest, if I can be transparent with you guys, or with you people who watched my video, I'm not really the curious type. Like, I can read in a book and I quench my curiosity thirst by reading in books. But when it comes to me being curious and talking to other people, I'm really somewhat self-centered in that sense. And then my anxiety causes me to, I think social anxiety is definitely what I suffer from sometimes. So it's hard for me to communicate and be curious. So that's what I noticed before. So those are the things that I'm working through currently, because I know it's not really my strongest attribute is not curiosity. And I really learned that more by reading this book. In this book, one of the statements that stood out to me was, it stated, the more you know, the better equipped you will be to tackle the obstacles that you meet on your way to reaching your objectives. So you have to be curious when you are living your best life and you are trying to accomplish these goals and you're trying to be the best person that you can be. You have to be curious. You have to look, listen, and learn. Also, one of the quotes that stood out to me was, getting to this point, and this is what a successful, hey Elijah, I was reading from the Wisdom for a Young CEO. One of the CEOs said that getting to this point had nothing to do with teachers or books. You have to find life experiences and swallow them whole. You have to travel. You have to meet many people. You have to go down some dead ends and explore some dark alleys. Try everything. Exhaust yourself in the glorious pursuit of life. So if you want to be successful, you want to be the best CEO that you can be, you have to be curious. You have to get lost. You have to get lost in the pursuit of life if you want to be your best, if you want to do your best. And my family is doing good, Elijah. We miss y'all, though, a lot. We really do. I miss y'all, you and your brother. So you want to be curious. Also, another quote that stood out when you are trying to be the best CEO that you can be, and not just of an organization, but of yourself. That's important. You have to know that every day when you wake up, you are the CEO of you first and foremost. The quote that stated, I am curious and interested in just about everything. So I am always learning and working at the margin of my ignorance. And that really stood out to me, working from the margin of your ignorance. I feel like so much in my life I have, educated myself, read, I got these degrees, and I did all this to prove that I'm an educated person. So now I think the reason why I have so many challenges is because now I have to reverse that. I have to reverse not being the know-it-all. Now I have to go back to being ignorant, and I have to work from an ignorant place. And that's something that I'm learning to do. So being curious is number 5. And then integrity. It says if you want to be a successful CEO, personally or professionally, you want to have integrity, meaning that you want to have steadfast adherence to a strict moral or ethical code. You want to be honest to all and above all. That means that you cannot, you can't be fake at the end of the day. You can't be with one crowd and act one way, and then when you with another crowd, now you act in a different way. That's not having integrity. Integrity is standing firm in what you believe in and moving forward and making decisions from that place. Having integrity. One of the quotes that stood out to me in this chapter, it was stated, learn to do what ought to be done when it should be done, whether you like it or not. That's important. That's having integrity. That's how you know when you are really attached to a goal, you are attached to a vision, when you are able to do a task, to accomplish a task, whether you feel like it or not. That's important when you're trying to be the best CEO you can be, personally or professionally. It also stated that integrity does not have a switch. You can't turn it off and on. A leader must always walk the walk and talk the talk if she expects others to follow you. So I know when I was younger, my grandfather, he would have a saying. He would say, do as I say and not as I do. What? That never made sense to me. Do as I say and not as I do. I'm not about to be listening to somebody that's not even walking the walk. That's how I felt back then. But now I get what he's saying now. I get what he was saying now, especially being a parent. But it was more, when I think about it now, I would have been more willing to follow what he was saying if he not only talked the talk, but also walked the walk. So that's having integrity, walking the walk and talking the talk. When it comes to having integrity and being a business owner, being a CEO, you want to know your customer, but also personally, everybody that you are involved with, whether you want to be a CEO or a business owner or not, everybody that you come in contact with, everybody that is in your circle is your customer. Everybody that you make some type of exchange with. In business, the exchange that you make is monetary. But with relationships, the exchange that you make it could be energy. That's the type of exchange that you make. So when you are in an environment and you are working with people, or you are around people that energy isn't right, their energy isn't doing good for you, it isn't feeding you anything, then you need to be honest with yourself and have integrity within yourself, and know that you need to let that go so that you can grow and elevate to the next level, so that you can be the best that you can be. Having integrity means being honest, as I said, and also being straightforward. You don't have time to be pussyfooting around. You got stuff to do. A lot of times people say, well, Antoinette, you are so crazy because you just say what you want to say. Yes, I do. I don't have time to be playing. I'm going to say what I want to say, because now at first I thought it was a negative situation. I thought that was a negative attribute. But now I know that's that's a great skill, a great quality to have by being sometimes short with it and letting people know, listen, this is what it is. I'm not changing. My mind is made up. It is what it is. That's having integrity, being true to yourself. And the last trait that, not the last trait, but the last characteristic under integrity that stood out to me, or the last statement that stood out to me was, it said, once you start the habit of dishonesty, it's a hard habit to break. And that's so true, and that's so real, and that's in business, and that's in your personal life. Like, that's why even with my kids, I don't play. Just be honest. Just be honest. I don't care what you do, as long as you can be honest about what it is that you do. I tell my son that. I'm going to tell my daughter when she's old enough. If you do something and you can't be honest about what you've done, then don't do it. Because when you start having this habit of dishonesty, it's hard to break. And one thing I tell my son, if you 8 years old and you lying, you're going to be 18 and lying. And that's not acceptable in my household. Be accountable. Be accountable. I don't care what you do. Be accountable for it and have a reason behind it. You know? So that's that. Last but not least, you have to be pragmatic. And what that means is you have to really have a practical, matter-of-fact way of approaching or assessing situations. And when I think about being pragmatic, that also puts me in mind of being curious. And if you, it might be clear that being pragmatic is also a challenge that I'm currently working through at this moment. Being curious and being pragmatic, approaching situations in a matter-of-fact way. Like, I don't know this. How, approaching situations in a curious manner. Because like I said, I have spent so much time and energy trying to educate myself, trying to be smart, trying to know it all. And at the end of the day, now I know that's not the proper way to be. I don't want to know it all. I want to know more and more and more. And I'm always supposed to work from a place of ignorance. So now I have to unlearn what I've been learning for so many years, and that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to unlearn and relearn. That's actually one of the things I tell my clients. Unlearn and relearn. It's perfect. That's the best place to be in. In this chapter, some statements that stood out to me was, first of all, you have to know what you don't know. Know what you don't know, and it's okay to know what you don't know. Know what you don't know. So I am now okay with knowing what I don't know. Okay? And you got to be okay with knowing what you don't know. It's okay being ignorant. 2, another statement that stood out to me was, a CEO must dare to fail. A CEO who plays it safe all the time isn't setting goals that are high enough. And this is so true. When I work with my clients, I have them do this exercise. Act like you are you have a genie with a bottle in it, or a bottle with a genie in it, however the term is, and you have unlimited wishes. And you can make unlimited wishes in each area of your life. And people say, well, I want to have my car paid off. I want to, they just have small dreams. And I'm just like, dream bigger. You can have anything that you want. Why are you dreaming so small? Don't you want a big house with the car and the in world peace, or whatever? What are you passionate about? Whatever it is. It's just like, dream big. Stop dreaming so small. Stop thinking in reality all the time. Like, go back to your childhood where you used to dream like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. Whatever that dream was for you, go back to thinking that way. I'm just saying. Don't play it safe. Make big goals, big dreams, so you can stretch into that vision. And one thing that I like to say is, if you aim for the moon, but you land amongst the stars, I feel like you're still winning. You're still winning. I'm just saying. And last but not least, the last statement that stood out to me was, the more you know what your likes and dislikes are, what your strengths and your weaknesses are, the easier you will be able to carve out your own path to a successful and happy life. And that's just so, so true. And I think that's a perfect way to end the video, because at the end of the day, the reason why I did this video is because I want you to know that you can be anything you think about and work towards, first and foremost. You can be anything you think about and work towards. Secondly, I want you to know, and I want you to develop that CEO mindset. You have to know that you are first and foremost the CEO of you. You have to, every day you wake up, you are handling business, your personal business, your family business, you handling business at work. Every day you wake up, you're handling business, which makes you a CEO. Every day you wake up, you are making decisions. You are making decisions for other people. You are making decisions that alter the effects or the outcomes of other people, which means that because of that responsibility, especially if you are a parent, you have to begin to think with that CEO mindset. You are a CEO. That's what you are. Whether you have a business, whether you dream of wanting a business, whatever, you are a CEO of you. And you have to begin to think like that, right? So in these areas, I share with y'all between today and yesterday 7 characteristics that this young man, Douglas Berry, he wrote this book and he got these letters from all these CEOs, almost like 100 letters. And through all these letters, it was these 7 things in each letter that stood out that these CEOs contributed to them being successful. Okay? So what you have to do is, once I'm about to run through them real quick and let you know what the 7 characteristics are, rewatch the video if you didn't watch part 1, rewatch part 2, and really figure out under each area, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and applaud yourself for your strengths, because you are amazing. We all have strengths and you are amazing. I need you to know that. But I want you to then pay extra close attention to your weaknesses, because that is where you are going to grow. You have to pay close attention to your weaknesses and grow in these areas. So these are the 7 characteristics that you want to have, that you want to implement in your life, that you want to be strong in if you want to be the best CEO you can be, professionally and personally. First of all, you want to have passion. All right? You have to be respectful, and you also have to, tell people how to respect you as well. You have to be respectful, but also demand your respect. You have to have a vision. You have to have a vision. That's important. You have to have a vision so big that you can grow into your vision. You have to be humane. You have to be curious. You have to be curious about life. Be curious about people. You have to have integrity. And last but not least, you have to be pragmatic. You have to be able to approach things in a matter-of-fact way. All right? So thank y'all so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate y'all so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Internet Develops. Watch some videos while you're there. I have over about 50 videos that are dedicated to supporting you and growing and elevating and designing your best life. TGN Development Company. I am accepting clients at the moment. So if you want to work with me one-on-one to support you in designing and living your best life, please contact me. If you have a child that you know will benefit from working one-on-one with me and helping them to design goals and helping them to also overcome obstacles that they are currently facing, please contact me. I also facilitate and lead workshops on topics such as personal growth, leadership, entrepreneurship, and honestly, any topic that you want me to talk about, because that's one of my specialties. So yeah, y'all, it's been real, and I'll probably be live again next week. Talk to y'all later.